The move that I'm really curious about, or the next move for this player, is Kyler Murray. You know, my good buddy, Kyler Murray. Because if I look back when he first started with Arizona, those first 3 years are respectable. I'll run down the numbers here. First year in Arizona, he completed 64% of his passes. He threw for 3,700 yards, and he had 20 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. He was the Rookie of the Year. The next year, completed 67%, threw for 3,900 yards, 26 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. All very respectable. The third year, he completed almost 70% of his passes. He had almost 3,800 yards, 24 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. We're good. And then they signed him to the contract extension. Then all of a sudden it was 66% completion, 2,300 yards, 14 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Now, there are rushing yards to go along with this. And then all of a sudden, the next year, it was 10 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and 1,800 yards. Now, he did come back in 2024, almost 69% completion, almost 3,900 yards, 21 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. These are all respectable. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 seasons that are respectable, that most teams, middle of the road and lower, would go, sign up for that. In fact, a few teams in the upper tier might go, hey, I'll take that any day. Then you had last year, he completed 68%. He threw for under 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Now of course, he was a healthy scratch, it felt like, and they were done with him. Now the question is, what Kyler Murray can you get? Can I bring back what he was those first 3 years? 4 of his first 6 years? Very respectable. But a team like Minnesota, you got him inside on turf. You got some receivers. We like Kevin O'Connell as a head coach. Maybe that is sort of his reclamation. Because we see this, and we're going to see this again this year. Like, who is this year's Sam Darnold? And maybe we just name the award after Sam Darnold. Because it's the Reclamation Award goes to, and maybe it's Daniel Jones. But you have some of these players. You know, Geno Smith might end up in Minnesota, end up starting in Minnesota. So you have a couple of the, is Tua. Tua will be a reclamation project. The question is, will he be good? Where's he going to land? Is he going to be a starter wherever he goes? But Kyler Murray, to me, is fascinating. Because I think it might have been last year where I said, I just feel like he's going to end up on the Jets. And I don't think that's a bad thing, because I do think Kyler Murray is better than any other quarterback who was going to be coming out in the draft, aside from Fernando Mendoza. Maybe the Dolphins, but it feels like Malik Willis is the front runner there in Miami. But if I got Kyler Murray, now, do I want him in a big media market? Not necessarily. He doesn't put himself out there. I don't know how approachable he is. Does he want to do interviews? Does he want to be the face of the franchise? But then you have that negative, that cloud that's always going to be hanging over him. I don't know if he wants to be great. I think he's so talented, he can be great, but I don't know if he wants to be consistently great or better than that, a leader, a Hall of Famer. I don't know if he wants to do that. And that's what would make me take pause. Do I think he has the talent? Yes, but he's always had the talent. I just don't know if he has motivation. And when they have to put something in your contract that says you got to study, man, that blinking light is not going off anytime soon. And that's what would make me nervous. I don't know if he wants to study. He wants to be the first guy in, the last guy out. And I know it sounds like a cliche, but for him, it shouldn't be a cliche. You got to shake this reputation. And if not, then go play baseball. But he's had so much talent that in high school, if you look at his high school video, it's not fair. Even in college, he was electric. But when you get to the pros, I don't care how good you are, I don't care what position you're playing, you have to then put in the time, put in the work, because now you're playing against equals. And for Kyler Murray, I would certainly kick the tires on him. If I'm the Jets, he's not going to cost me a lot. Or if I'm Minnesota, he's not going to cost me a lot. But can he give me an upgrade? And I would say yes. But you have to have that meeting with him where you say, and you have to look him in the eye, as I once did, and you just have to ask him, tell me how you're going to lead this team. Tell me why we shouldn't believe anything that we heard with Arizona. And then let him tell you. I believe he can show you, but I need him to tell. I need to hear it. I need him to actually believe the words he's telling me. Not a Johnny Manziel combine interview where he's going to be, let's see, what do you need? Yeah. And then I'll ask him about his wife. And then, what's his wife's name? Mary. Yeah. I'll ask him about Mary. They're going to love this. Kyler Murray, I just want to know, do you want to be great? Are you willing to put in the time? All righty, Seton. What's the poll question today?
Well, I have a couple of ways to word this one. I'm not sure which one. One of them feels too mean. But the basic idea is Kyler Murray a better quarterback than we think?
Okay.
So I could say, is Kyler Murray a better quarterback than we think? Yes or no? Very easy. The way I originally worded it was, Kyler Murray is a bad quarterback.
Wow.
Perception or reality?
I can't say he's a bad quarterback. I think he's got the talent to be very good. So I don't.
But what is the perception of him? The perception of him is he's not very good, isn't it?
I think the perception is he doesn't put in the time. He's not a leader. Maybe he doesn't care. Like Anthony Richardson, you might say, now he's a bad quarterback. But he does have talent. But Kyler Murray, there is proof of concept here. All right, he's gone out and thrown for almost 4,000 yards a couple of times. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of teams. Pittsburgh Steelers would take those numbers right now. The Jets would take it. I mean, Dolphins would take it. Quite a few teams that would take those numbers. The problem is the name attached to those numbers. So I wouldn't be mean-spirited saying he's a bad quarterback.
Right.
What was the other way you worded it?
Is Kyler Murray a better quarterback than we think?
Or maybe you could say, what kind of quarterback is Kyler Murray? Is he very good, average, stay away? Yeah, Paul.
Is this a shared blame situation where the Arizona Cardinals, they can take down a lot of people? They've disappointed a lot. And it's almost like the Jets and the Cardinals are the places quarterbacks don't really want to go. And I wonder if Kyler Murray will get the same treatment Sam Darnold got when he left, that it's partially the fault of the team.
Well, it took a while before Sam proved that it was the Jets who were the problem. And Kyler was better with a bad team like Arizona than Sam was with a bad team like the Jets. So Kyler Murray is talented enough to win games. I think Sam Darnold was brought in. He was drafted because he was the safe choice. He's not a difference maker where he's going to win the games single-handedly like Kyler Murray has shown that he can. Yes, Seton.
He also had to kind of prove that the Jets and the Panthers were the problem.
Yeah.
49ers, he didn't really get a shot. Vikings, he did, but he did well there.
Yeah, I don't know how you phrase that with Kyler Murray, because it feels like he has proven that he can be very good. And yes, it is a franchise that is guaranteed to disappoint. But, okay, Arizona got a great tight end, Trey McBride. They got Marvin Harrison Jr. III that everybody thought this is a generational talent, and it's been a slow build. So they did surround him with talent. Yes, Eaton.
What if I said Kyler Murray's biggest problem is perception or reality? So I feel like he has a big perception problem.
All right.
For a guy, you never see him, you never hear anything, but the little bits that he did bubble up, we were like, man, that's not great.
Kyler Murray's problem is Kyler Murray, in my opinion. Because it goes back to those who are extremely talented. And I always point out, Jordan had all this talent, but he worked so hard when he got to the NBA. Tiger had all this talent, But when he got to the PGA Tour, he worked tirelessly. He worked, harder than anybody did. Jamarcus Russell had incredible talent. He's always had incredible talent. He just didn't want to work. And that happens with these players. That it's so easy for you. You are the star. You're the star there in high school, star in college. Now you're going to be the number 1 overall pick. Hey, I could have played baseball if I wanted to. Hey, I'll go back to Michael Vick. And that's the cautionary tale. And I think I even told Mike when I've had him on before, he should talk to Kyler Murray because it's very similar. Michael Vick didn't put in the time. He was just an elite athlete that you feel like I don't have to until you do. I don't care who it is. You do. And Kyler is sort of like maybe a right-handed Michael Vick. Not as explosive, straight ahead speed, I don't think, but quickness. And he's completing 67, 68, 69% of his passes. Like those aren't pedestrian. And you're throwing for 25, 26, 27 touchdowns. You're throwing for 38, 3,900 yards. Okay. In today's NFL, those are all respectable. But I just think Kyler is Kyler's problem.